Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game, and it's the preview of West Ham United against Manchester City in London Stadium. First game after the transfer window closes. Of course, though, the window is not shut, so we will be live on Tuesday night from 8 until 11 o'clock discussing all West Ham in the transfer window and probably other teams as well, just to kill the time. But you can join us. I'll be joined with different guests throughout the night, so make sure you tune in. Got a debut tonight. He's the Jose Fonte of the West Ham show. He's making his debut this week. Luke, what's your thoughts on our opponents, Manchester City?
Well, obviously they came to our place and obviously thrashed us in the FA Cup. But I think in the league, with current form, I think we can do them. But obviously they've had a bit of a stop-start season. They started really well. They looked unplayable, but looked like world beaters at the start. But I mean, they sort of slipped a bit, and Guardiola's sort of struggling to keep up with the pace of the Premier League, I think.
What do you think is going wrong for them, Luke? If you want to call it going wrong, I mean, they're still doing quite well. They're still in the top four, etc. But do you think there's just too much pressure on City? Do you think they're getting a hard time from the media?
Yeah, I think people like Torre, Silva, I mean, obviously they're world-class players, but people like Zabaleta as well, they've been there a while now, and they're getting on a bit. I mean, people like that, they sort of scream a move to China to me. You know, I can imagine Torre, people like that going to China. I think it's getting to that stage where they need to bring a bit more, a few more younger players in that are sort of world beaters like Torre and Silva have been. And obviously, Aguero's goals have dried up a little bit lately. But yeah.
Well, while Luke's the Jose Fonte of the show tonight, we've got a Caleri of the show. I'm not saying he's crap. What I'm saying is he made an appearance at the start of the season. He's only made one now and again over the course of the season. Anthony, what's your thoughts on City then? Do you think we just need to be patient with Pep, or City fans need to be patient with Pep and just give him a couple of years to sort of, like Luke said, get rid of the golden generation that's now the olden generation?
Of course they do. I'm not a fan of these teams taking on these managers and just getting rid of them after a season if they're not doing that well. But at the beginning of the season, when you've seen Pep going into Man City, for me, I thought personally it was going to be one of his biggest tests. For me, he did inherit Barcelona team. He did inherit his Bayern Munich team. I know he had to do the formations and do that all right, but he's got a bit of work to do at Man City, a bit like we were saying there. Like, he's got these players that have been there for a few years. So yeah, they need to be patient. End of.
Well, let's chat about two Manchester City players. Anthony, I'll give you the first one. Kevin De Bruyne is making his 50th Premier League for City. He's got 19 assists in his first 49 games, and there's only two players in the Premier League history done more assists in such a short space of time, and that is Eric Cantona and Juan Mata. How good is De Bruyne, Anthony? And is he the one that you fear most in that City lineup?
Yeah, he's so effective in any game he plays. He knows where to find the ball. He knows how to find the striker. Sometimes when you watch him, when he passes the ball, it's as if they've had their chat before, and he says, "Put the ball in front of me." The striker will say, "Put the ball in front of me. As long as you get the ball in front of me, I'll do my job, which is get past the defender. You put the ball there, and I'll do that." So of course, he's going to be anyone's worry when they're playing against a talent like him. De Bruyne over Payet, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will disagree with that. He's certainly the player I admire most. I think City have only got about maybe three world-class players, if you like. He's one of them. He's probably at the top for me. I think he's their best player. A player I admire quite a lot. But at the other end of the pitch, Luke, we've got Claudio Bravo. Everyone's been chatting about him, but how crap is this stat, though? He's faced 9 shots on target in 2017. He's made 1 save and conceded 8. The last 6 shots on target have gone in. Is he a poor keeper, or is that stat misleading?
Yeah, I think he's a poor keeper, mate. I think the way Joe Hart was treated was quite unfair. Joe Hart's quite a vocal sort of keeper. He's good at what he does. Quite solid in goal, really. No, doesn't really have many bad games. I think Bravo really he's just a name, really. I think he's come to the league and really struggled. Very well. Lazy on the ball. I mean, when he gets the ball, he holds on to it for a while before he kicks it. I think he's been given a bit of a reality check, and so has Pep, really. And I think Pep's got to swallow his pride and bring Joe Hart back, unless we go in for him, which would be quite a good move for us.
I think you're just saying that because you look like Joe Hart.
No.
Anthony, Luke's touched upon it earlier, but for you, Anthony, is the fear factor from City gone?
I always think when you've got a team like that with all the quality players that they have, you can't really say. No, I do still fear them. It's typical West Ham. It's typical all the teams. They'll go through a slump in the season and then they'll hit form again. They do have the quality there. They do have the strength in depth. But like you said there, the decision that when he brought in Bravo was, I think it was I'm stamping the authority in this squad, and this is going to be one way of doing it. It's not the right decision in my opinion, but that's maybe going to be one of their weaknesses, and we just hit some shots into the goalie, see what happens.
Well, on Wednesday night, if either side are looking for a friend, they could look at the referee, because that is his name. It's Kevin Friend. West Ham have had him 6 times in the history of the Premier League, and we've only won 2 games. We haven't had him this season. We only had him once last year, but we won it. It was at Anfield, and we thumped them 3-0. Manchester City's record with him in charge isn't any better. They've had him 10 times in the Premier League, and they've only won 3. So it can't be that good for them. In their 5 away games in the Premier League with Kevin Friend in charge, they've only won just the 1. They've had him twice this season, though. However, they beat Watford 2-0 and they drew 1-1 at home to Middlesbrough. Look, should we be worried? I mean, this can't be any worse than the FA Cup game, can it?
No, not to be honest, mate. I think the team's flowing with confidence at the moment after what's happened with Pyatt, and obviously the team coming together, the fans coming together. I am sort of looking forward to the occasion. I think it's a big game. I think Snodgrass will get some game time. I think Fonte will make his debut, and I think we really need to utilise Andy Carroll and play to their weaknesses. Really take lots of shots, and as well as that, pump the ball into the box for Carroll, because on his day he is unplayable in the air. He's the biggest aerial threat in the league, in my opinion. And I think if we get the ball into the box for Carroll, I think he can cause some damage.
Well, Anthony, you can have the tactical question. Do we stick to a flat back four in your opinion? I mean, it could be argued that that's Man City's strengths going down that wing, and when we played them in the Cup, they absolutely tore us apart down the wings. I'm not seeing Sam now look like, you say, Bolt before or since playing at the London Stadium. But would you keep Byron right back, Anthony?
I would, yeah. Play on his confidence. He's had a good couple of games. I'm excited about seeing the flat back four with Fonte jumping in. He's a solid centre half. And all that can do is help Winston Reid. Ogbonna, a few problems throughout the season. Yeah, he's a decent enough centre half, but Fonte is proven in the Premier League. He's previous captain of Southampton. Okay, they've not had a fantastic season, but this guy is a player. He knows how to play from the back. He's strong and he's a good aerial threat as well. So yeah, flat back four for me. And do you know what? Just stand up to the team and be strong and get the balls out of the box.
Look, we've got Fonte will make his debut, but we've also got Robert Snodgrass. Do you start Robert Snodgrass, or do you keep the team that's beat Middlesbrough? Do you keep Feghouli, Antonio and Lanzini?
Yeah, we're 100% keeping Feghouli in the team. I think he's taken his chance. He hasn't had many chances this season, and he's taken them, to be fair. At worst, he's been 7 out of 10 for me when he's played, and I think he's doing well. And we can't just knock his confidence and knock him out of the team. It's essentially a winning team without Ogbonna, and I don't think we should take him out at all. Obviously, Antonio has to start, but no way would I take out Feghouli either for me.
Andy Carroll, this is he's got 3 favourite opponents in the league. Swansea is his favourite, but the other 2 teams that he scored 5 goals against is Arsenal and Manchester City. Look, is it key that we utilise Andy Carroll here? We've just spoke about how Bravo, he must be lacking confidence. He must be feeling vulnerable. We've got, as you said, the best header of the ball. Do we need to just swing the ball in? Is it as simple as that for our tactics on Wednesday night?
I think so, to be honest, mate. I think Fegouli's got the ability to knock decent balls in. If Lanzini's going to play on the left, I think he can do it as well. Obviously, Lanzini takes a better corner than Pyatt did. Yeah, I think people like Otamendi, I mean, he's a good defender on his day and he's good at his feet, but in the air, the occasion at a place like the London Stadium, which is starting to pick up atmosphere, won't sort of rise to the occasion. And I think, yeah, Carroll can really sort of tear those defences apart with his aerial threat.
Well, before I ask these two for their predictions and for their final words of this show, we just want to point you in the direction of our forum at hammerchat.com. If you want your opinion on the game read by hundreds of West Ham fans and to have a chat with other West Ham fans, come on, the link's down below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Anthony, are you feeling confident?
I'm always feeling confident, and from the previous videos I've ever had on this show, you'll tell that, yeah, I'm overly confident guy for West Ham, which is maybe a problem. Yeah, I'm feeling confident. You want my score prediction?
No, but why are you confident?
I'm confident because the past couple of games, the whole Pyatt situation has brought team morale up in the squad. There's been obvious problems, and a bit like what Luke was saying, it's time to play the same team, give all these players confidence. Look at Faguli, he's grown into his game. He needs to start this game. I do think Snodgrass will come on as a sub. I can't see why he's not. He's been recently playing. And there's only positives to be seen. We've removed the problem. We've brought in a couple of players. The players feel confident. Yeah, why not?
Look, yourself, are you feeling confident? If so, why are you confident?
Yeah, I'm very confident. I think Carroll's on fire at the moment. At the moment, he's doing sort of the best sort of striker in the league at the moment. Well, obviously not the best, but in terms of form, he's doing really well. And that's not going to change, against the City side in terms of an aerial threat. And I think we've just got to look at that, and then obviously with the shots against a keeper like Bravo, I think the team's oozing with confidence at the moment. Two back-to-back wins, and I think we can build on that. And obviously the atmosphere at the stadium's really picked up, and I think that's a massive benefit as well. It's under the lights, I think we can do them.
Yeah, I wouldn't describe myself as confident as you two. I'm optimistic and I'm slightly confident. I'm trying to stay grounded. Because as good as our last two performances have been, and we've scored 6 goals, I'm trying to remember that Crystal Palace were just absolute rubbish and probably the worst team I've seen us play in the Premier League this season. Another team was Middlesbrough, and while they're good at home, they are 15th in the league or whatever for a reason. I'm just trying to remember that and not get too carried away, so that if we do get beat, I won't be so disappointed, because we'll have got beat by Manchester City. But the difference between this and the FA Cup game is I just want to see, if Man City do win, Man City have to play 9 or 10 out of 10 in order to get that 3 points, because in the FA Cup game, they barely got out of second gear and did us over. But, as you two have said, the team are buzzing right now. Everyone's buzzing. Carroll's on form. Faguli's showing what he can do. We've got Antonio, who's just been in form since he got into the team. He hasn't stopped being in form. Lanzini's oozing being the main man. It looks like he's. If anyone in that team looks happy that Payet's left, it's him. He just looks so much more creative. He looks more free when he's got the ball. He's got his head up, etc. Whereas before, whenever he got the ball, I felt like he kept trying to give it to Payet all the time. He kept doing 1-2s with Payet. And while it was nice to see, sometimes I just thought, go yourself. Stop giving it to him. You don't have to use him as a 1-2. Use Antonio or Carroll as a 1-2. And I just think that now, instead of going through Payet all the time, they're going through all avenues. If Faguli's free, it goes through Faguli. If it's Antonio's free, it goes through Antonio. The players are not afraid to take on players now. We're just playing with freedom. While I look more happier. Yes, I know I'm Scottish and I'm saying freedom. There's a certain Tom Down that's going to be absolutely buzzing the fact that I'm saying freedom. Yes, I get it. But we are playing with just freedom. It's delightful to see. But Anthony, prediction down. I think I know what you're going for, but are you going for a win? And what's your score?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a win. We're under the lights at Olympic Stadium. Luke said the atmosphere's getting better, and it is. When the fans get behind the team, the roar in that stadium is going to go in that stadium. It's going to give them more of a buzz. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory, and I'm going to go for a Carroll brace. I'm going to continue his form. He is in the form of his life. He looks really confident. I mean, when he's defending at the front post. His headers are clearing all the way back to the halfway line. The guy is oozing confidence. Let's just play to his strength. And yeah, I see him confident. 2-0 victory.
Look, your score prediction.
I think the first half will go in at half-time 1-0, and then I think we'll come out in the second half. 20 minutes to go, bring Snodgrass on, make an impact, and I think it'll score 2-1. Remember this video.
I'm going to say 2-1 as well. I was going to say I think a new player will do something.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pin my hopes and say Snodgrass because it might be Fonte, but it might also be another player because the transfer window's not shut yet. And I do wonder it might bring in Scott Hogan between now and the City game. He's going to be on the bench or something. So I'm not going to be so naive, and I'm going to hope that we might have someone extra on that bench on Wednesday night. So I'm going to say a new player will do something. I'm going for 2-1 as well. And when you talk about going in at halftime, you've something I've noticed. You said we're going at 1-1 at halftime. We've just done a tour video. It's on our channel. Went up yesterday, so go on our channel, check out. We did a stadium tour video. The walk from the changing room to the pitch is enormous. I don't think Slaven Bilic gets more than 8-9 minutes with the team in that change room, because the time it takes to get off the pitch and into the change room, then the time it takes to get back out again, he must lose half of the half-time 15-minute period. It's ridiculous. Go check out the video if you haven't seen it. That walk is enormous. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. That's been Anthony, that's been Luke, I've been Gio. We'll be back Tuesday night live, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. and hopefully we'll be discussing a new signing, and hopefully we won't be saying goodbye to anyone else now that the French one is gone. Thank you for joining us.